Let's begin by offering our respects to ISKCON founder Acharya and our preeminent Shiksha Guru, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha. He Krishna, Karuna Sindhu, Dina Bandhu, Jagatpate, Gopesha, Gopika Kanta, Radha Kanta, Namostute. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi, Radhe Vrindavaneshwari, Vrishabhanu Sute Devi, Pranamami Haripriye. Vancha Kalpataruvyaschа, Kripa Sindhuvya evacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shrivasati, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate
Om Namo
Vasudevaya.
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate
Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om
Om
Namo
Namo
Bhagavate
Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Okay, so on the first day of this Purushottam month, we welcome all of you to our weekly online Krishna book classes. Thank you very much for joining. We have with us here Auntie Neeta, Shailesh Latkar, Wendy, Lavina, Joli Nandwani, Karuna, Aja, Sheetal Latkar, Shantaram Latkar, Divina, Ritu Lalwani. We have Kamala Nandini Mataji, Manjuni Halani, Swapna Latkar, Shri Radhe Hari Devidasi, Dipti Adnani, Shivani, Hari, Vivansh, and we have Meenakshi. Okay. So what did we see in the previous class?
We completed
So basically
Chapter 47.
conveying the message for Krishna to the gopis, to Nanda Maharaj and to Yashoda Majan. But then he has some learnings from interacting with the gopis, and he appreciates the fact that their love for Krishna is something that he should appreciate, and he, in the end, says that he would like to be the ferns or the blades of grass of Vrindavan so that he can experience the dust of the feet of the gopis.
Yes. So, which is this place where this whole episode happened? What is it called in Vrindavan we saw? Who remembers? That place in Vrindavan is called? The place where the Brahmara Gita was spoken and this whole conversation happened between Uddhava and the gopis. In Vrindavan is called as? You should make a note of all these places. So when you visit Vrindavan by Krishna's mercy, then you know where you have to go in Vrindavan, no? Anyway, so that place is called Uddhava Kyari. Uddhava Kyari. So it is said that there Uddhava is residing as a blade of grass, and if one does heartfelt kirtan, then he will manifest. No, he will manifest in front of our eyes. So this is what happened when Krishna's wives were feeling separation, and then there was a kirtan done there, and then Uddhava actually spoke the Srimad Bhagavatam to the wives of Krishna, and then they were not feeling separation from Krishna because at that time Krishna had already disappeared. So that place also is there in Vrindavan when you visit. Okay, let us see what Krishna is going to allow us to read today. So today, by the mercy of Sri Guru and Sri Krishna, we will be seeing chapter number 48 of the Krishna book, where Krishna visits two devotees whom he had promised previously that I will visit because you're not yet. Krishna said, I will visit you because I have other business to finish. He had to kill Kamsa and release his parents from the prison house. So previously, he was invited by Akrura and he was invited by the hunchback woman. Her name is Kubja. So Krishna had promised them that not now, I will not accept your invitation now, but later I will visit you. So now Krishna is going to visit Kubja and he's going to visit Akrura to fulfill his promise to them. Let's see. For days together, Krishna heard from Uddhava all the details of his visit to Vrindavan, especially the condition of his father and mother and of the gopis and the cowherd boys. Lord Krishna was fully satisfied that Uddhava was able to solace him by his instructions and by the message delivered to them. So what do you think? Does Krishna already know what Uddhava is going to inform him or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, because he's God, no? He's God, he's omniscient, he knows everything, he's past, present, and future. But to give joy to his devotees, to enhance the leelas, to enhance the pastimes, and for his own pleasure, Krishna is inquiring from Uddhava as to what happened. Okay. Lord Krishna then decided to go to the house of Kubja, the hunchback woman who had pleased him by offering him sandalwood pulp when he was entering the city of Mathura. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna always tries to please his devotees as much as the devotees try to please Krishna. As the devotees always think of Krishna within their hearts, Krishna also thinks of his devotees within himself. When Kubja was converted into a beautiful society girl, she wanted Krishna to come to her place so that she could try to receive and worship him in her own way. Society girls generally try to satisfy their clients by offering their bodies for the men to enjoy. This society girl, Kubja, was actually captivated by a lust to satisfy her senses with Krishna. When Krishna desired to go to the house of Kubja, he certainly had no desire for sense gratification. By supplying the sandalwood pulp to Krishna, Kubja had already satisfied his senses. So, if you may recall, Kubja is the hunchback woman in Mathura who's personally serving the king Kamsa. No, so she was taking the sandalwood pulp for the king Kamsa, but she very willingly gave it to Krishna, and in return, Krishna he straightened her. No, he removed her hunchback and he made her into a beautiful woman. And what was Kubja now thinking? She was captivated by a lust to satisfy her senses with Krishna. Hmm. So Kubja, the acharyas explained that she was purified by offering that pulp to Krishna because she rendered devotional service. No, it was a service that she rendered to Krishna. And because, see here, Krishna always tries to please his devotees as much as the devotees try to please Krishna. So now the devotee has tried to please Krishna. Now in return, Krishna also wants to please his devotee Kubja. No, so God is a person. No, so God always reciprocates to one's love. God always reciprocates to one's service. Now, after this incident happened, Kubja wants to enjoy with Krishna. She is captivated by a lust to satisfy her senses with Krishna. So, therefore, now Krishna wants to reciprocate, and Krishna desired to go to the house of Kubja. But it is not that Krishna has a desire for sense gratification. No, he is reciprocating with the love that Kubja showed, or with the service that Kubja showed for Krishna. So we should not misunderstand. And actually, Kubja has already satisfied the senses of Krishna. How? By supplying the sandalwood pulp to Krishna. Does anybody remember the other name of Kubja that we saw when we did the chapter? The name starts with a T.
In Ramayana,
No, not in Ramayana. Another name of Kubja. She is bent, so she is called as
Trivakra.
Trivakra. Yes, very nice. Trivakra means she is bent at how many places?
3 places.
Three
Three
places.
places, yes, no? So Trivakra or Kubja is her name. Okay. So yes, in the Ramayana, Lavina, you tell me, in the Ramayana, she was who in the previous lifetime?
I don't know his name, but they say Bilini also, who gave her the bear, half eaten, half tasted. You can see that.
No, that's not Kubja. Kubja was somebody else.
Was she Surpanaka?
Shurpanaka, yes, Shurpanaka, very nice. Shurpanaka.
Okay.
And also there is another account of the gopis saying that she was some other personality from the Ramayana who also was a hunchback. What's her name?
Mantra.
Mantra, yes, Mantra, very nice. Okay. On the plea of her sense gratification, however, he decided to go to her house, not actually for sense gratification, but to turn her into a pure devotee. Krishna is always served by many thousands of goddesses of fortune. Therefore, he has no need to satisfy his senses by going to a society girl. But because he is kind to everyone, he decided to go there. It is said that the moon does not withhold its shining from the courtyard of a crooked person. Similarly, Krishna's transcendental mercy is never denied to anyone who has rendered service unto him, whether through lust, anger, fear, or pure love. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is stated that if one wants to serve Krishna and at the same time wants to satisfy his own lusty desires, Krishna will handle the situation so that the devotee forgets his lusty desires and becomes fully purified and constantly engaged in the service of the Lord. So many points here. First of all, Krishna does not depend on anyone to satisfy him. He is the husband of the goddess of fortune. He is the husband of thousands of goddesses of fortune. No, he's always served by many thousands of goddesses of fortune. So there is no need for Krishna to satisfy his senses by going to a society girl. Krishna is kind to everyone, so he decided to go to Kubja because she has rendered service and now Krishna has to reciprocate. Now see here. Krishna's transcendental mercy is never denied to anyone who has rendered service unto him, whether through lust, anger, fear, or pure love. Now, who has rendered service to Krishna through lust? Can you think of an example?
Gopis.
The gopis are not lusty. The gopis is love. No, it's pure love. You can say it's transcendental lust. If you have to use the word lust, you can use the word transcendental lust. But to understand it more specifically, it's love. Lust in this sense, in the sense that we are trying to
Putana?
understand it is through material lust.
Putana?
Putana was lusty.
No, actually, no.
The women of Mathura,
Women of Mathura, okay, very nice. More specifically, the very person we are reading about here, Kubja, no?
Okay. Right.
Kubja herself, this very example we can use for someone
Mm.
who has lusty desires, because we read previously how she was captivated by a lust to satisfy her senses with Krishna. Can you think of someone who served Krishna through anger? Who was constantly thinking of Krishna
Kamsa?
Kamsa.
out of anger? That would be a more apt example out of fear, because Kamsa was always fearful of Krishna.
Hiranyakashipu?
Hiranyakashipu, yeah, anger towards the Lord, very nice. One example. But if we have to say Krishna specifically, Krishna,
Maybe Mother Yashoda.
out of anger,
I mean, a bit of anger.
there was a person called Shishupal, no, who was very
Right.
envious of Krishna, no, and he was very angry and he always insulted Krishna. He offended
Mm,
Krishna.
mm,
So Shishupal is one
mm.
example of someone who offended Krishna through who had Krishna on his mind out of anger, no, out of anger. Okay. And pure love is gopis, best, or the Brajavasis,
or
anybody,
Yashoda,
any resident of
Yashoda
Vrindavan.
Maya.
What's that, Shailesh?
Yashoda Maya.
Ah, yes, Yashoda Maya, yes, very nice. Okay. Now see here, if one wants to serve Krishna and at the same time wants to satisfy his own lusty desires, Krishna will handle the situation so that the devotee forgets his lusty desires and becomes fully purified and constantly engages in the service of the Lord. So, what does Krishna do if there is a devotee? He wants to serve Krishna, but at the same time he is also lusty for his own, no, for his own lusty desires. Then what does Krishna do? He will act in such a way that now the devotee will no longer have those lusty desires, and in fact has a desire to uh, engage in seva with a fully purified heart and mind. No, this is what Krishna does. See, let's see this verse. It's these set of verses. If those who desire material enjoyment or merging into the existence of the Absolute Truth engage in the Lord's transcendental loving service, they will immediately attain shelter at Krishna's lotus feet, although they did not ask for it. Krishna is therefore very merciful. Krishna says, if one engages in my transcendental loving service, but at the same time wants the opulence of material enjoyment, he is very, very foolish. Indeed, he is like a person who gives up ambrosia to drink poison. Since I am very intelligent, why should I give this fool material prosperity? Instead, I shall induce him to take the nectar of the shelter of my lotus feet and make him forget illusory material enjoyment. Whenever Krishna is requested to fulfill one's desire, he undoubtedly does so, but he does not award anything which, after being enjoyed, will cause one to petition him again and again to fulfill further desires. When one has other desires, but engages in the Lord's service, Krishna forcibly gives one shelter at his lotus feet, where one will forget all other desires. When someone engages in Lord Krishna's devotional service for the satisfaction of the senses and instead acquires a taste for serving Krishna, he gives up his material desires and willingly offers himself as an eternal servant of Krishna. So, see, many times devotees ask this question: I have many anarthas, I have many material desires. Should I worship Krishna? So always our acharyas explain that doesn't matter who you are and what condition you are, anyone can chant, in fact must chant the holy name of Krishna. Because when we take to see, devotional service begins, as I said before, Shravanam and Kirtanam, chanting the holy name, hearing and chanting the holy name of the Lord. So when we do that, right away we are on the platform of bhakti. So as we are on the platform of bhakti, now because Krishna is going to personally take care of us, no, automatically our material desires will go away. It's only a matter of time. So as long as we are chanting, we are on track. But the moment we give up chanting the holy name, then everything else will come toppling down like a pack of cards. So chanting is the most important devotional service. So this is what happens. Krishna automatically induces him to take the nectar of the shelter of the lotus feet and make him forget illusory material enjoyment. So that is like a um, what you say? It happens automatically by default. We don't have to artificially endeavor to give up bad habits. Yes, we try our best, but if we are chanting, then that purification happens simultaneously as a natural side effect. To fulfill his promise, Krishna, along with Uddhava, went to the house of Kubja, who was very eager to get Krishna for the satisfaction of her lusty desires. When Krishna reached her house, he saw that it was completely decorated in a way to excite the lusty desires of a man. This suggests that there were many nude pictures, on top of which were canopies and flags embroidered with pearl necklaces, along with comfortable beds and cushioned chairs. The rooms were provided with flower garlands and were nicely scented with incense and sprinkled with scented water. And the rooms were illuminated by nice lamps. So Krishna has gone to the house of Kubja with Uddhava. When Kubja saw that Krishna had come to her house to fulfill his promised visit, she immediately got up from her chair to receive him cordially. Accompanied by her many girlfriends, she began to talk with him with great respect and honor. After offering him a nice place to sit, she worshipped Lord Krishna in a manner just suitable to her position. Uddhava was similarly received by Kubja and her girlfriends, but he did not want to sit on an equal level with Krishna, thus he simply sat on the floor. So Uddhava did not want to sit on the raised platform because he considers himself to be lower than Krishna. So he sits down on the floor. And the Srimad Bhagavatam explains how he touched the seat because Kubja offered him a sitting place. He touched the seat and then he sat down on the floor, which means that he is not disrespecting the service that Kubja also has offered. Not touching it means he is accepting it in one way, and at the same time he is not accepting it, he is sitting on the floor. So when somebody gives us something, if we don't want to receive it, at least touch it, fold your hands out of respect, no, so that you're not disrespecting the service that is being offered to you. That is Vedic etiquette, that is Vedic culture. As one usually does in such situations, Krishna entered the bedroom of Kubja without wasting time. In the meantime, Kubja took her bath and smeared her body with sandalwood pulp. She dressed herself with nice garments, valuable jewelry, ornaments, and flower garlands. After chewing betel nut and other intoxicating eatables and spraying herself with scents, she appeared before Krishna. Her smiling glance and moving eyebrows were full of feminine bashfulness as she stood gracefully before Lord Krishna, who is known as Madhava, the husband of the goddess of fortune. When Krishna saw Kubja hesitating to come before him, he immediately caught hold of her hand, which was decorated with bangles. With great affection, I'm sorry, with great affection, he dragged her near him and made her sit by his side. Simply by having previously supplied pulp of sandalwood to the Supreme Lord, Krishna, Kubja became free from all sinful reactions and eligible to enjoy with him. She then took Krishna's lotus feet and placed them on her breasts, which were burning with the blazing fire of lust. By smelling the fragrance of Krishna's lotus feet, she was immediately relieved of all lusty desires. She was thus allowed to embrace Krishna with her arms and mitigate her long cherished desire to have him as a visitor in her house.
Did she become Gopi then later? No.
Oh, there is no information of that. later what she became in the next lifetime, are you saying? Or in this lifetime?
Yeah, or you become gopi after because they are always in the Goloka, right, with Krishna. So one among them, did she become?
There is no information of that for me
Oh,
to comment on it. I don't know. There is no mention of Kubja after this in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, here. When Krishna saw Kubja hesitating to come before him, what does that mean? She's feeling shy. No, there is hesitancy. She's feeling shy. So, what does that show about Kubja?
he knows Krishna as God.
Yeah, but why is she feeling shy?
She's feeling shy because she reveres Krishna, and then at the same time she wants to. She's having lusty feelings, and therefore she's feeling shy. Because in effect, she reveres Krishna.
Okay, see, the acharyas explain that although Kubja was serving Kamsa, she was protected from practicing illicit relationships as a profession because of her hunchback. No, remember she was a hunchback woman. So because she was a hunchback woman, she was protected from engaging in illicit relationships. And up to this point, or at this point, Kubja is a virgin. She has not had illicit relationships in the past. This is what Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains in his commentary. No? So, because the first time that she is nearing a man, she is feeling shy. It's the natural quality of a woman. And how did her lusty desire go?
When she felt the fragrance of Krishna's feet,
Exactly. Yes, very nice. Just by smelling the fragrance of Krishna's lotus feet, immediately all her lusty desires vanish. So, this is what Krishna does. If one has material desires, Krishna will act in such a way that the person's material desires go away and one is purified. No, this is what is the difference between Krishna and the Devatas. The Devatas are called as agents of karma, no, because if one does austerity tapasya, then it's the duty, it's an obligation. The demigods feel obliged to give the person whatever the person deserves and desires after he has done tapasya. But Krishna is not like that. Krishna, he can override the rules. No, so in this case, he did fulfill the material desire of Kubja, but how did he fulfill? By her not having those material desires anymore. No, he purified her heart. This is how Krishna acts. There is also a verse with regard to this. We'll see that verse later in today's class. It is stated in the Bhagavad Gita that one must be freed of all material sinful reactions before one can engage in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Simply by supplying sandalwood pulp to Krishna, Kubja was thus rewarded. She was not trained to worship Krishna in any other way. Therefore, she wanted to satisfy him by her profession. It is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita that the Lord can be worshipped even by one's profession. It is sincerely offered for the pleasure of the Lord. I'm sorry. It is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita that the Lord can be worshipped even by one's profession if it is sincerely offered for the pleasure of the Lord. Kubja told Krishna, "My dear friend, kindly remain with me at least for a few days and enjoy with me. My dear lotus-eyed friend, I cannot leave you immediately. Please grant my request." So the acharyas explain that actually Kubja's desire was that Krishna always remains only with her and nobody else. That was her desire. But Krishna was not ready to, and he doesn't want to commit only to her. No, he has other leelas to perform. So therefore, Krishna left the place after this.
just a question. When Kubja offered the sandalwood paste, the pulp to Krishna, Did she have some intention or behind that, or she just did it for? It was not for love of Krishna, was it?
She had lusty desires in her heart. It was an attraction that she had because Krishna is so stunningly beautiful. So she had an attraction for Krishna, and then she also had lusty desires, which is why she invited Krishna to her house. Even that episode, actually, I'll share a PDF at the end of this class in the group. It is described by, I think it's Jiva Goswami, if I'm not mistaken. He explains that when Kubja was taking the sandalwood pulp for Kamsa, and Krishna told her that I can straighten you up. So she said, how will you do that? So he said, by, um, I don't know if I'm using the right word, something on the lines of, uh, I hope I'm using the right word. Something on the lines of by touching you. So she was like, okay, where are you going to touch me? And everybody started to laugh. It was something on those lines. Okay. I'm not too sure about the exact words, but I will share the PDF and you can see it there. So it was like this kind of a conversation, which was kind of, what do you say? Um, Spoken by a society girl, quote unquote, as Prabhupada used the word society girl. No, so it's kind of she has those lusty desires for Krishna. That's the bottom line. Okay.
Okay, because actually she was supposed to take it for Kamsa, but she gave it to Krishna. So that means, did she have any intention behind the offering?
The intention was her lusty desire, her attraction to Krishna.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mataji, is there any story that why she was like, did she have this hunchback? She was born like that, or is there any information about that?
Yeah, so if she was, see, there are two versions, right? One version says that she was Shurpanaka in her previous lifetime. Another version is that she was Mantra in her previous lifetime. So Mantra also had a hunchback. And now again in this lifetime, she is born with a hunchback. She is carrying on from where she left off in the previous lifetime. And regarding the fact that she is Shurpanaka, as Shurpanaka, she committed an offense. No, she went to attack Sita Devi, and then her nose was cut off. And another offense that Shurpanaka did was when she went to Ravan and she described to Ravan what had happened, no? How she desired to have Ram as a husband, and then she was rejected by Ram and also rejected by Lakshman, and then her nose was cut off. Ravan did not pay much attention to what she said actually. So then she realized that the only way to get her brother Ravan to act on this incident was by inciting his lusty desires. So what she did was she glorified and she described the unparalleled beauty of Sita Devi to Ravan. And by describing the beauty of Sita in such a way to Ravan, what she did was she incited the lusty desires of Ravan. And that is what made Ravan go and attempt to kidnap Sita. So that was a serious offense that she had committed in the when she was Shurpanakha. So when one commits serious offenses, then as a karmic reaction, one can have bodily deformations. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. See, here are the quotes from the Bhagavad Gita that go on to show how one must be freed from all material sinful reactions before one can engage in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. See here, persons who have acted piously in previous life and in this life, and whose sinful actions are completely eradicated, are freed from the dualities of delusion, and they engage themselves in my service and determination. And here there is another point where we see here, Srila Prabhupada writes, it is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita that the Lord can be worshipped even by one's profession if it is sincerely offered for the pleasure of the Lord. So here, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, by following his qualities of work, every man can become perfect. Now please hear from me how this can be done. By worship of the Lord, who is the source of all beings and who is all pervading, a man can attain perfection through performing his own work. So we all have prescribed duties. By doing our prescribed duties for the pleasure of Krishna, then we can attain perfection, Krishna is saying. As stated in the Vedic versions, the Supreme Personality of Godhead has multi-potencies. According to expert opinion, Kubja represents the Bhu Shakti potency of Krishna, just as Srimati Radharani represents his Chit Shakti potency. Although Kubja requested Krishna to remain with her for some days, Krishna politely impressed upon her that it is not possible for him to stay. Krishna visits this material world occasionally, whereas his connection with the Supreme World is eternal. Krishna is always present either in the Vaikuntha planets or in the Goloka Vrindavan planet. The technical term of his presence in the spiritual world is Aprakata Leela. So Bhu Shakti, Bhu represents the earth, no, Bhumi Devi. So Kubja actually represents the Bhu Shakti. So the earth, here is another explanation to what Jolie just asked. The earth is overburdened because of the kings who are engaging in sinful activities and other sinful people. Kali Yuga is just a few years away now. So there is a lot of adharma going on, and Bhumi Devi, she is feeling burdened by all these sinful activities and all these sinful people, and therefore she's feeling the weight of that, no? And Kubja, who's bent, who's having this hunchback, is representing Bhumi Devi, who is feeling the burden of all these sinful activities and people on her. So she represents the Bhu Shakti potency. Srimati Radharani represents the Chit Shakti. Chit actually means knowledge. She more specifically represents the Ladini Shakti, the pleasure potency of Krishna. So Chit Shakti also is a spiritual potency. So Srimati Radharani represents that potency of Krishna. Now, what do we mean by aprakata leela? What does the word aprakat mean in Hindi?
Not visible.
Not visible, yes. It's the opposite of prakat, no? Aprakat leela and prakat leela. So aprakata means not manifest, not manifest. So Krishna's leelas in the spiritual world are aprakata, means that doesn't mean they do not exist. They are existing eternally, just that it's not manifest to us as long as we have the material angle of vision. So because one is materially inclined, one cannot see these leelas are not manifest. So therefore these are unmanifest leelas or aprakata leelas. But we can see these leelas if we are on the spiritual platform. Then one can see or one can perceive these leelas. See here, according to regarding the Bhu Shakti, according to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, the young hunchbacked woman was actually a partial expansion of the Lord's wife Satyabhama. Satyabhama is the Lord's internal energy known as Bhu Shakti, and this expansion of hers, known as Prithvi, represents the earth, which was bent down by the great burden of countless wicked rulers. Lord Krishna descended to remove these wicked rulers, and thus his pastime of straightening out the hunchback Trivakra, as explained in these verses, represents his rectifying the burdened condition of the earth. At the same time, the Lord awarded Trivakra a conjugal relationship with himself. And here, coming to this point of how the Leelas of Krishna, the spiritual Leelas, are aprakata, not manifest, no, but one can perceive, one can see these leelas, one can be a part of these leelas, also participate in the leelas if one comes to the transcendental platform. So there is a very nice verse in the Brahma Samhita. Premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena santa sadaiva hridayeshu vilokayanti yam syama sundaram achintya guna swarupam govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. So this Brahma Samhita is spoken by Lord Brahma himself. So what Lord Brahma is saying, I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is Shyama Sundara, Krishna himself, with inconceivable, innumerable attributes, whom the pure devotees see in their heart of hearts with the eye of devotion tinged with salve of love. So if your eyes are tinged with devotion, then then the pure devotee can see in their heart of hearts. What can they see? The inconceivable, innumerable attributes of Krishna. So Premanjana Churita. The Anjana means is what you apply, no? It's like a like the kajal, no? When you apply. So just as how if you can apply in your eyes the anjana of prema, the anjana of love, then the santa, then the devotees, they can see in their hridayeshu, in their hearts, they can see sadaiva, always they can see. What they can see? They can see Shyama Sundara. They can see this most beautiful Shyama Sundara, dark blue, beautiful boy. And his achintya, his inconceivable guna swarupam, his inconceivable attributes that devotee can see. When only when there is premanjana churita bhakti vilochana. The eyes of devotion are tinged with the salve of love. See, Srila Vishwanath Thakur, he writes in order to understand us Trivikra properly. The two words Nava Sangama Hriya, shy with a new contact, and Vishankitam, fearful, indicates that Trivakra was in fact a virgin girl at this point. Though Kubja was beautiful, she was protected because of her hunchback. Kubja had accumulated a trace of piety because she had offered unguents to Krishna. But she did not have heaps of pious credits like the sadhanas with the gopis in Vraja and the women of Mathura. So she had a tinge of piety because she offered the sandalwood paste to Krishna. And at the same time, she was a virgin because she was protected because of her hunchback. This is what Srila Vishnu Chakravarti writes in his commentary. Then also from the purport of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is clear from the commentaries of the Acharyas that the story of Trivakra is to be understood on two levels. On one hand, she is understood to be a liberated soul, directly associating with the Lord and participating in his pastimes. On the other hand, her conduct is clearly meant to teach a lesson about what not to do in relation with Lord Krishna. Since all of the Lord's pastimes are not only blissful but also didactic, there is no real contradiction in this pastime, since Trivakra's purity and her bad example take place on two distinct levels. Arjuna is also considered a pure devotee, yet by initially disobeying Krishna's instruction to fight, he also showed an example of what not to do. However, such bad examples always have happy endings in the blissful association of the absolute truth, Krishna. So, one thing we can be very assured of in Krishna consciousness, he will always give his devotees a happy ending, no matter what. No matter how many obstacles we have, how many inconveniences, how many sacrifices, no matter how many anxieties we may have when we are rendering service to Krishna, at the end, he will give you a happy ending. That is assured. Now, coming to this thing, that bad example. So, what is a bad example that Kubja gave to the world? What we should not do?
He's lusting for Krishna, and she has displayed images on her house that are attractive for men. So
Okay. Yes.
that maybe perhaps should not be done.
Yes. Because what she was
And
thinking is, I want to enjoy. I want to enjoy. So, when she says, I want to enjoy, I want to gratify my senses, who's in the center of her life? It's Krishna or
she
herself?
is
She.
Yeah, she's placing herself in the center, no? But what is the difference between Kubja and the gopis is, the gopis want to satisfy Krishna, but Kubja wants to satisfy her senses. That is the difference between Kubja and the gopis, right? So a devotee must always place Krishna in the center of all our activities. It's not about I, me, my friends, my this, my that. No. It's always Krishna in the center. Everything revolves around Krishna. That's a pure devotee. And Arjuna, but what is the good thing that Kubja did was she rendered service to Krishna. She gave that sandalwood pulp to Krishna. So she accumulated some pious credits, and therefore Krishna went to her house and gave her his mercy. And now coming to Arjuna, what was the bad example that Arjuna gave to the world?
At the
He
time of
disobeyed.
fighting, he said that he was unable, and he said that his Gandhi was slipping from his hand at the time when the fight was about to begin.
Okay, very nice. Anybody else wants to try?
He did not want to fight when Krishna said that you must fight for the war, no matter who is there in front of you.
Okay, anybody else? Very
He
nice.
didn't. He said that he'd rather give up and take sannyas than fight.
Okay, very nice. So who was Arjuna placing in the center when he said
Himself.
all those things?
Was placing himself.
Yeah, because he was thinking, my relatives will die. I cannot kill. I don't want this kingdom. It was all about I, right? But he's not saying, Krishna, because you want me to fight, I will fight. That he did do after Krishna spoke the Bhagavad Gita to him. Arjuna completely surrendered to Krishna. But initially it was, oh, my relatives, I cannot kill. I will incur the sinful reactions. No, I can go to the forest. No. So therefore, the example here Arjuna is how again initially, he was placing himself in the center. But again, we have to remember that Arjuna is an eternal associate of Krishna. Arjuna is a pure devotee. Even when he said he does not want to fight, Arjuna was at that time also a pure devotee. But he is playing the role in the Leela to give us lessons, to give us lessons. Okay, so it's like a pastime, it's like a stage show so that we can learn. But Arjuna is eternally a pure devotee of Krishna. Having satisfied Kubja with sweet words, Krishna returned home with Uddhava. There is a warning in the Srimad Bhagavatam that Krishna is not very easily worshipped, for he is the supreme personality of Godhead, the chief among the Vishnu Tattvas. To worship Krishna or have association with Krishna is not very easy. Specifically, there is a warning for devotees attracted to Krishna through conjugal love. It is not good for them to desire sense gratification by direct association with Krishna. Actually, the activities of sense gratification are material. In the spiritual world, there are symptoms like kissing and embracing, but there is no sense gratificatory process as it exists in the material world. This warning is specifically for those known as Sahajiyas, who take it for granted that Krishna is an ordinary human being. They desire to enjoy sex life with him in a perverted way. In a spiritual relationship, sense gratification is most insignificant. Anyone who desires a relationship of perverted sense gratification with Krishna must be considered less intelligent. His mentality requires to be reformed. Very important point here. Let's discuss this word Sahajiyas. What does the word Sahajiyas mean? Or can you connect it to any other word in Hindi or Sanskrit?
Sahajiya means take Krishna consciousness very cheaply. They think that Krishna is with them and they have lusty desires towards Krishna and all that. And they take it very cheaply. They don't go by rules, regulation and Vedas, instructions, Guru's instruction. They worship Krishna as they want.
Very nice. So the gopis of Vrindavan, are they following any rules and regulations or they just have spontaneous love?
They have spontaneous love.
So are they
They are above.
Sahajiyas?
No, never. They're not Sajiyas. They are pure devotees and they're above the level of the Vedas and Shastras and following the regulative principles. They're above that level.
Okay. So what about somebody says that, oh, I'm at the level of the gopis and I have spontaneous love and I don't have to follow the
That's
rules and
Sahajiya.
regulations?
That's definitely Sahajiya. Because you
Yes.
have to see what Sampradaya they're coming from. You have to see who are their instructed guru and all the other things.
Yes, very nice. Shri Radhe Hari. See here. See, we understand from the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that there are 9 stages of bhakti. Hmm. Initially, there is some faith. No, we place our faith in someone, something. Some faith is there which we are bringing from our previous lifetime. Then comes association. We start to associate with devotees, and most prominently, association with the bona fide spiritual master. Now, when we come in touch with devotees, when we associate with devotees, we learn from the devotees that we follow the four regulative principles. We have to chant the holy name. No, we chant minimum so many rounds, and this should be our sadhana. We have to read the shastras, etc., etc., etc. So that is called as bhajana kriya, devotional service. We start to engage in devotional service. Now, as we engage in devotional service, it's like cleaning the heart, cleaning the dust on the mirror of the heart. So what happens when we are engaging in devotional service, gradually over a period of time happens, there is the cleaning of unwanted habits take place. Now, as devotion grows, automatically lust, anger, greed, and our bad habits will decrease. Automatically, we will not have the desire to engage in sinful activities, to have meat or intoxicants or gamble and things like that. So that is called as anartha nivriti. Now, once we see that our bad habits are automatically going because we are engaging in devotional service, then the devotee becomes steady in his practice because now he is seeing the results. The results are coming. So it makes him even more determined to stay on path. No? So that is called nishtha, steadiness. He becomes fixed up in engaging in devotional services. Now, as he is steady and he is continuing to perform his devotional service with a fixed mind, then he develops what is called as a taste for chanting, taste for following bhakti and devotional services. So previously it was done because the spiritual master is telling him to do. It's not that it was out of unconditional love that one starts to chant the holy name. No, initially it is because you are having association with devotees, because devotees tell you chant the holy name. You chant the holy name, but not necessarily one has the taste. The taste develops here at the sixth stage. No, one develops a taste for chanting. One begins to enjoy chanting the holy name. One begins to joyfully look forward to chanting the holy name. So that is taste, ruchi. Then as the taste develops, then one develops attachment, asakti, means intense longing and deep attachment for the Lord. Now there is love for the Lord. A devotee starts to feel a personal connection with the Lord. A devotee sees how the Lord reciprocates with you. So many times Krishna will show the devotees how he actually reciprocates with the devotees. So that is called as attachment. One feels attachment to the Lord. Then that attachment later at the next stage changes into bhav, no, bhav, love. So there is this the love begins to sprout in the heart of a devotee. And then comes the final stage of prema, pure love, the most intense, selfless, uninterrupted love that the devotee feels for Krishna. So these are the 9 stages of bhakti. Shraddha, then comes sadhu sangha, then bhajana kriya, then anartha nivriti, nishtha, ruchi, asakti, bhav, and prem. So these are the 9 stages of bhakti. And Srila Prabhupada explains how one must not artificially think that one is already on the stage of prema, pure love. The gopis are at this level, prema, pure love. No, so they don't have to go through bhajana kriya because they are already on the stage of spontaneous love for Krishna. That's the gopis, and all the residents of Vrindavan are in this level of prema. That's why Vrindavan Dham is so unique, so special. But one should not artificially think that, oh, I'm already on the stage of prema, so I don't have to practice bhajana kriya. I don't have to chant the holy name. I don't have to engage in no meat eating, no intoxication, no illicit sex, and no gambling. No. When we start off on our spiritual life, one has to go through this process. No, and one who prematurely thinks that he is already on the level of prema, that person is a sahajiya. Srila Prabhupada explains. No, and our acharyas also explain. The sahajiyas, they will engage in meat eating also. For example, they will say that Garuda, the carrier of Vishnu, he's an eagle, right? So he eats fish. So he eats fish. So therefore, being Garuda, he is engaged in the personal service of the Lord. He is eating fish. So we can also eat fish at the same time. We can also be on the stage of love. This is how Garuda, out of spontaneous love, is giving service to Lord Vishnu. No, so we can also eat meat, and we can also be at the stage of spontaneous love. They will say that, oh, the gurus also are eating meat and everything. It's okay, doesn't matter. Still, we will not reject that guru. Still, we have to follow the guru. So these are called as the sahajiyas. Very, very dangerous to even associate with a sahajiya. We should be very, very careful. So see, this was an instruction that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave to Sri Rupa Goswami for 10 days in Prayag, at a place called Dashwamedha Ghat. If you go to Allahabad, you can also visit this place. And the same lesson he also gave to Srila Sanatan Goswami. And these are the verses. You can read this when I share the slides in the group. Okay. These verses I put here for this point here. See, there is a warning in the Srimad Bhagavatam that Krishna is not easily worshipped, for he is the supreme personality of Godhead, the chief among the Vishnu Tattvas. To worship Krishna or have association with him is not very easily. There is a warning for devotees, attracted to Krishna through conjugal love. It is not good for them to desire sense gratification by direct association with Krishna. So the point here is, Krishna is not very easily worshipped. No, he is the chief among the Vishnu Tattvas. So here, see, from the Srimad Bhagavatam, the Supreme Personality of Godhead fulfills the material desires of a devotee who approaches him with such motives. But he does not bestow benedictions upon devotee that will cause him to demand more benedictions again. However, the Lord willingly gives the devotee shelter at his lotus feet, even though such a person does not desire for it, and that shelter satisfies all his desires. That is the Supreme Personality's special mercy. So this is how Krishna works. No, he will give you your material benedictions, but before that, he will purify the heart. And see, so what if a person has material desires? Such a person, is it okay for a person to worship Krishna if he has material desires? This question is answered here by Sukadeva Goswami. He says, Akama sarva kamova moksha kama udharadi tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. So one may be akama. Akama means he has no kama, no? Or one may be sarva kamo. He may be full of material desires. Or he may be moksha kama. He may be desiring moksha. He may have the desire for liberation. Now, doesn't matter whether one is akama or sarva kama or moksha kama. One should engage in bhakti yoga. And how? Tivrena. Tivrena means with great force. He should engage in devotional service to the Lord. Now, to whom should he engage in devotional service? To Purusham Param, to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. See, a person who has broader intelligence, whether he be full of material desire, without any material desire, or desiring liberation, must by all means worship the Supreme Whole, the personality of Godhead. So it doesn't matter if we have material desires, or we have no desires, or we have desire for liberation. Doesn't matter who we are, still intelligence is to engage in devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Not just engage in devotional service, but with full force, tivrena. Sukadeva Goswami is saying this to Maharaj Parikshit. So see, the Lord is the Supreme Whole. He is the Supreme Whole. It's not that because there are many personalities who are coming from him, or the living entities are coming from him, or the entire material world is coming from him. That doesn't mean he reduces in size or he reduces in potency. That is material calculation. Material calculation, if I have two apples and I give one apple to you, I remain with only one apple. No, so but that is material calculation. But spiritual calculation is Krishna as the whole, and even though everything emanates from him, still he remains the whole. That is Krishna. That is spiritual calculation. See here, when one follows this the stages, the nine progressive stages of bhakti, that is called as Vaidhi Bhakti. So you can see he's chanting the holy name, he's following the regulator principles. And Raganuga Bhakti is the gopis with Krishna. They are on the stage of spontaneous love. But when we engage in Vaidhi Bhakti, slowly, over a period of time, one can reach the level of spontaneous love for Krishna. But that is only by following the principles of Vaidhi Bhakti. See, Srila Prabhupada writes this very nice purport. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has very critically discussed all these bhava displays in connection with some unscrupulous neophytes imitating the above symptoms for cheap appreciation. Not only Vishwanath Chakravarti, but also Srila Rupa Goswami treated them very critically. So there he's talking about the Sahajiyas here. Sometimes all the above 8 symptoms of ecstasy are imitated by the mundane devotees, Prakrita Sahajiyas. But the pseudo symptoms are at once detected when one sees the pseudo devotee addicted to so many forbidden things. A person addicted to smoking, drinking, or illegitimate sex with women, even though decorated with the signs of a devotee, cannot have all the above mentioned ecstatic symptoms. But it is seen that sometimes they are willfully imitated, and for this reason, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur accuses the imitators of being stone hearted men. So, see, when one is on the bhava stage, then one manifests some symptoms. There are ecstatic symptoms like we have here, see, stuntedness, perspiration, standing of hairs on end, failing in voice, trembling, paleness of the body, tears in the eyes, and finally trance. So sometimes a devotee, a pure devotee in that bhav stage, the body starts to tremble, then there are tears in the eyes, the voice starts to falter. No, so these are all ecstatic symptoms when one is at the bhava stage and also prema stage, but they start to manifest in the bhav stage, which is the second last stage. No, see here, the second last stage. So what happens in when one prematurely thinks that he is in the prema or bhava stage of love of God, he artificially shows these symptoms, but these are not genuine. So that's what Prabhupada here explains. You immediately know that he's false, he's a pseudo devotee, he's a fake devotee, when he's addicted to so many forbidden things. So if one says that he's in the bhav stage and he's showing that there are tears, the voice is faltering and the body is trying to shiver, but at the same time if he's addicted to sinful activities, then you immediately know that he's a pseudo devotee. He's a pseudo devotee. He's a sahajiya. After a while, Krishna fulfilled his promise to visit Akrura at his house. Akrura was in relationship with Krishna as his servitor, and Krishna wanted to get some service from him. He went there accompanied by Lord Balaram and Uddhava. When Krishna, Balaram and Uddhava approached the house of Akrura, Akrura came forward, embraced Uddhava and offered respectful obeisances, bowing down before Lord Krishna and Balaram. Krishna, Balaram and Uddhava offered him obeisances in turn and were offered appropriate sitting places. When all were comfortably seated, Akrura washed their feet and sprinkled the water on his head. Then he offered nice clothing, flowers, and sandalwood pulp in regular worship. All three of them were very satisfied by Akrura's behavior. Akrura then bowed down before Krishna, putting his head on the ground. Then, placing Krishna's lotus feet on his lap, Akrura began to massage them. When Akrura was fully satisfied by the presence of Krishna and Balaram, his eyes filled with tears of love for Krishna, and he began to offer his prayers as follows. So this is another manifestation of love. No, these are tears of love. These tears are not like the tears of the Sahajiyas. No, they are genuinely out of love for Krishna. So one should know how to differentiate. My dear Lord Krishna and Balaram, it is very kind of you to have killed Kamsa and his associates. You have delivered the whole family of the Yadu dynasty from the greatest calamity. The Yadus will always remember your saving of their great dynasty. By dear Lord Krishna and Balaram, both of you are the original personality from whom everything has emanated, the original cause of causes. You have inconceivable energy and you are all pervasive. There is no cause and effect, gross or subtle, but you. You are the supreme Brahman realized through the study of the Vedas. By your inconceivable energy, you are actually visible before us. You create this cosmic manifestation by your own potencies and you enter into it yourself. As the 5 material elements, earth, water, fire, air, and sky, are distributed in everything manifested by different kinds of bodies, so you alone enter the various bodies created by your own energy. You enter the body as the individual soul and independently as the super soul. It is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita that the material body is created by Krishna's inferior energy, that the living entities, the individual souls, are his parts and parcels, and that the super soul is his localized representation. Thus, while the material body, the living entity, and the super soul constitute an individual living being, originally they are all different energies of the one Supreme Lord. Okay, let's see. What name of Krishna means that he is inconceivable?
Achintya.
Achintya.
Achintya, yes, very nice. What name of Krishna means that he is the original personality?
Krishna.
The word Krishna means all attractive. Pradhana Purusha. Okay, Krishna is called as Pradhana Purusha, which means he's the original personality. Okay. What name of Krishna means that he's all pervasive? It starts with a V, very famous name of Krishna.
Vasudev.
Yes, very nice. And one more, starting with a V, famous name.
Vishnu.
Vishnu, yes. Vishnu, Vasudev means Krishna is all pervading. Other names are, he's also called as Vibhu. Vibhu means again he's all pervading. Okay. What name of Krishna means that he is the supreme Brahman?
Parabrahma.
Para Brahman, yes, very nice. Okay. See, here are the verses showing that how the material body, living entity, and the super soul constitute an individual living being. Originally, they're all different energies of the Supreme Lord. So, here in these verses, you can see how Krishna says that the gross elements are all his separated material energies: earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego. And then Krishna says, besides me, there is another energy, superior energy of mind, which comprises the living entity. So, we jivas, we belong to Krishna's superior energy. And then Krishna says, all created beings have their source in these two natures. Of all that is material and all that is spiritual in this world, know for certain that I am the origin and the dissolution of both. And this is the verse that where Krishna says that he is the super soul. Because many times in other scriptures, other shastras, the Lord or Krishna is referred to as Paramatma. Paramatma, they say. But who is that Paramatma? That information Krishna is given in the Bhagavad Gita. And Krishna himself says, I am the super soul. O Arjuna, seated in the hearts of all living entities. I am the beginning, the middle, and the end of all beings. Akrura continued, in the material world, you create, maintain, and dissolve the whole manifestation by the interactions of the three material qualities, namely goodness, passion, and ignorance. But you are not implicated in the activities of those material qualities, for your supreme knowledge is never overcome like the knowledge of the individual living entity. So Krishna's knowledge is never overcome, but we are not like that. No, we have very limited intelligence, but Krishna is unlimited. He has unlimited intelligence, unlimited knowledge, vast knowledge. The Supreme Lord enters the material cosmos and causes creation, maintenance, and destruction in their due course, whereas the part and parcel living entity enters the material elements and has his material body created for him. The difference between the living entity and the Lord is that the living entity is part and parcel of the Supreme Lord and has the tendency to be overcome by the interactions of the material qualities. Krishna, the Parabrahman or the Supreme Brahman, being always situated in full knowledge, is never overcome by such activities. Because Krishna is called Achyuta, meaning he who never falls down, Krishna's knowledge of his spiritual identity is never overcome by material action. Whereas the minute part and parcel living entities are prone to forget their spiritual identity due to material action. The individual living entities are eternally part and parcel of Krishna, minute sparks of the original fire, Krishna. As sparks are prone to be extinguished, but not the blazing fire, so the living entities can be overcome by material activities, whereas Krishna never can. So, see, the point is, although the jivas, the living entities, we belong to Krishna's superior energy, we come under the dominance of Krishna's inferior energy, which is the material energy. So normally when something is superior and something is inferior, the inferior is always below that which is superior. No, it's always like that. But in this case, we jivas, although we belong to Krishna's superior energy, we come under the dominance of Krishna's inferior energy, which is material nature. So we allow Maya to to overtake our pure love. Maya makes us forget our relationship with Krishna, makes us forget that how we are actually parts and parcels of Krishna, and how if we are connected to Krishna, we will always enjoy eternal bliss. But Maya puts us under her effect, and we think that we can enjoy without Krishna. That is Maya's service that she does to perfection. So therefore, because the jivas can come under the influence of the material energy, we are called as Krishna's marginal energy. Margin means it's a margin, right? Neither this way nor that way. So we belong to Krishna's marginal energy, in the sense that we are Krishna's superior energy, but we can come under the dominance of his inferior energy. But Krishna is not like that. Even when Krishna comes to the material world, he is still the supreme personality of God. There's no question of Krishna coming under the influence of Maya. So that's the difference between Krishna and us, God and the Jivas. Akrura continued, less intelligent men misunderstand your transcendental form to be made of material energy, but that concept is not at all applicable to you. Actually, you are all spiritual, and there is no difference between you and your body. Therefore, there is no question of your being conditioned or liberated. You are ever liberated in any condition of life. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita, only fools and rascals consider you an ordinary man. To consider your lordship one of us, conditioned by the material nature, is a mistake due to our imperfect knowledge. When people deviate from the original knowledge of the Vedas, they try to identify the original living entities with your lordship, who have appeared on this earth in your original form to re-establish the real knowledge that the living entities are neither one with nor equal to the Supreme Lord. My dear Lord, you are always situated in uncontaminated goodness, Shuddha Sattva. Your appearance is necessary to re-establish the actual Vedic knowledge, as opposed to the atheistic philosophy which tries to establish that God and the living entities are one and the same. My dear Lord Krishna, this time you have appeared in the house of Vasudeva as a son with your plenary expansion, Sri Balaram. Your mission is to kill all the atheistic royal families and destroy their huge military strength. You have invented yourself to minimize the burden of the world, and to fulfill this mission, you have glorified the dynasty of Yadu by appearing as one of its members. My dear Lord, today my home has been purified by your presence. I have become the most fortunate person in the world, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is worshipable by all different kinds of demigods, pitas, kings, emperors, and other living entities, and who is the supersoul of everything, has come into my home. The water of his lotus feet purifies the three worlds, and now he has kindly come to my place. Who in the three worlds among factually learned men will not take shelter of your lotus feet and surrender unto you? Who, knowing well that one can be as affectionate as you are to your devotees, is so foolish that he will decline to become your devotee? Throughout the Vedic literature, it is declared that you are the dearmost friend of every living entity. This is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. Suhridam Sarva Bhutanam. You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, completely capable of fulfilling the desires of your devotees. You are the real friend of everyone. In spite of giving yourself to your devotees, you are never depleted of your original potency. Your potency neither decreases nor increases in volume. So Krishna is Suhridam Sarva Bhutanam. He is the dearmost friend of Sarva Bhutanam, of every living entity, of all the living entities. He is the dearmost friend, because Krishna never leaves us. He accompanies us in as the super soul in every single body that we are going to transmigrate through. And he has been with us in every body that we have already transmigrated in the past. He is accompanying us as the super soul. When we were in the body of an ant, when we were in the body of Brahma, when we were in the body of the worm in the stool, also, even in that abominable condition, Krishna is there with us as the super soul. So there can be no better friend than Krishna. And coming to this point, that Krishna is never depleted of his original potency. His potency neither decreases nor increases in volume. He is always full. So this is a very nice verse in the Sri Ishopanishad. This is the only Upanishad that Srila Prabhupada translated. So see this. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnam Adaya Purnam Eva Vashishyate. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is perfect and complete, and because He is completely perfect, all emanations from Him, such as this phenomenal world, are perfectly equipped as complete wholes. Whatever is produced of the complete whole is also complete in itself. Because He is the complete whole, even though so many complete units emanate from Him, He remains the complete, what is that? Balance. Yeah. So this is the point that we saw here. No, Krishna always remains as the complete whole. His potency never decreases nor increases in spite of everything that emanates from Krishna. So this is the verse from the Sri Ishopanishad. It's there in your Veda base if you want to read. My dear Lord, it is very difficult for even great mystic yogis and demigods to ascertain your movements or approach you. Yet, out of your causeless mercy, you have kindly consented to come to my home. This is the most auspicious moment in the journey of my material existence. By your grace only, I can now understand that my home, my wife, my children, and my worldly possessions are all bonds to material existence. Please cut the knot and save me from this entanglement of false society, friendship, and love. So, this is a nice prayer. Oh, my dear Lord Krishna, please cut the knot and save me from this entanglement of false society, friendship, and love. Lord Sri Krishna was very much pleased by Akrura's offering of prayers. With his smile captivating Akrura more and more, the Lord replied to his submissive devotional statements with the following sweet words. My dear Akrura, in spite of your submissiveness, I consider you my superior on the level of my father and teacher and most well-wishing friend. You are therefore to be worshipped by me, and since you are my uncle, and Since you are my uncle, I am always to be protected by you. I desire you to maintain me, for I am one of your own children. Apart from this filial relationship, an exalted devotee like you is always to be worshipped by everyone. Anyone who desires great fortune must offer his respectful obeisances unto personalities like you who are greater than the demigods. People worship the demigods when in need of some sense gratification, and the demigods offer benedictions to their devotees after being worshipped. But a devotee like you, Akrura, is always ready to offer people the greatest benediction. A saintly person or devotee is free to offer benedictions to everyone, whereas the demigods can offer benedictions only after being worshipped. One can take advantage of a place of pilgrimage only after going there and worshipping a particular demigod. And worshipping a particular demigod involves waiting a long time for the fulfillment of one's desire, but saintly persons like you, my dear Akrura, can immediately fulfill all the desires of a devotee. My dear Akrura, you are always our friend and well-wisher. You are always ready to act for our welfare. Kindly therefore go to Hastinapur and see what arrangement has been made for the Pandavas. So who is superior? Akrura is superior or the Devatas are superior?
Akrura.
Why?
Because his
Because
position is very elevated, because he can elevate other people. He does good to others.
Why can he elevate? How can he elevate others?
By his association, because he's a pure devotee of Krishna, so he always thinks so better of others, and he wants to actually help others to
So
be Krishna
Devatas can't do
conscious.
that?
They
Only
can, but
after
No,
not
they
praying.
can't.
Only after praying, Devdas can do. He can do without the prayer.
Yes,
the prayers.
exactly. Yes. So worshipping the demigods, when we worship, just this is the reason why the demons like Ravan, Hiranyakashipu and all, they worship the Devatas. No, and when they did so much tapasya, then the demigods had to give them because they feel obliged, no? So they had to grant them their benedictions. But the benediction that the Devatas gave to these demons, were they beneficial for the demons? No, it only entangled them more and more, and they were committing more and more offenses to the Lord, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hiranyakashipu, no, his body was almost eaten. He was only a bag of bones that was left. So much tapasya he did from Lord Brahma, he got those bones. But finally, what happened? He was finished. So But a devotee, because he has bhakti shakti, no, he has the potency, of his pure devotion to Krishna. Therefore, a devotee can give benedictions to others who will benefit spiritually also from those benedictions. So this is a difference. That's why a devotee is more powerful than even the devatas. Srila Prabhupada is explaining, and Sri Krishna also is quoting the same thing over here. Sri Krishna is saying that, no? See, this is this verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam. Bhajanti ye yatha devan devapi tathaiva tan chayeva karma sachivaha sadhavo dina vatsalaha. Those who worship the demigods receive reciprocation from the demigods in a way just corresponding to the offering. The demigods are attendants of karma, just like a person's shadow, but sadhus are actually merciful to the fallen. So the devatas are called as karma sachivaha. Karma sachivaha means, see, attendance. Sachiva means attendance. Karma means of material work and its reaction. So the devatas, they are karma sachiva. They are attendants of karma. Whatever tapasya you do, that much the demigods will give you. But the devatas, they are Dina Vatsalaha. Dina Vatsala means they are actually merciful to the fallen. So therefore, the devotee is considered to be greater than even a devata. Krishna was anxious to know about the sons of Pandu because at a very young age they had lost their father. Being very friendly to his devotees, Krishna was anxious to know about them. And therefore he deputed Akrura to go to Hastinapur and get information of the real situation. Krishna continued, I have heard that after King Pandu's death, his young sons Yudhishthir, Bhima, Arjuna, Nakula and Sahadev, along with their widowed mother, have come under the charge of Dhritarashtra, who is to look after them as their guardian. But I have also heard that Dhritarashtra is not only blind from birth, but also blind in his affection to his cruel son Duryodhan. The five Pandavas are the sons of King Pandu, but Dhritarashtra, due to Duryodhana's plans and designs, is not favorably disposed toward them. Kindly go there and study how Dhritarashtra is dealing with the Pandavas. On receipt of your report, I shall consider how to favor them. In this way, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna ordered Akrura to go to Hastinapur, and then he returned home accompanied by Balaram and Uddhava. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of 48th chapter of Krishna. Krishna pleases his devotees. So here Krishna, he desires to know about the Pandavas. They are his cousins and he is concerned about their well-being because their father has passed away and they are under the protection of Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra is blind by birth, but he is also blind in his affection for Duryodhan, son, and Duryodhan is cruel. So
But
therefore,
he,
Krishna wants to send.
Akrura, he was 13 years now, right?
I
He
don't know
was
the age. Age, I don't
okay.
know. I don't know.
Okay.
The thing is, Srimad Bhagavatam is a conversation between two personalities.
Oh,
It's not a historic event that a historian is writing and saying, okay, on this date this happened. Writing the date and then giving the event. No, it's something that is flowing from the heart of Sukadeva Goswami to Maharaj Parikshit, and he has only
mhm.
7 days. So he's recalling the pastimes and he's narrating this to Maharaj Parikshit. So not necessary that the dates are available or the ages are available for every pastime.
Okay.
Okay, on that note, by the mercy of Sri Guru and Sri Krishna, we come to the end of today's presentation. Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
jai.
Mataji, I have a question about that about this month, Purushottam month, right?
Yes.
When I read, it says it comes. I didn't understand the calculation actually. It says every 32nd month they add this month, right? That's what I understood.
Every 3
After
years, approximately, one Purushottam month comes.
every 3 years.
Approx, yeah.
So then, how come when I check there was one Purushottam month in 2025 also? What is that?
No,
No, no.
there
Okay,
was no Purushottam 2025, no.
okay. Okay. It comes only every. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have put a class there. You can see there the astronomical calculation plus the
Uh-huh.
katha and what are the
Okay.
things that we should do in Purushottam month. The slides in the recording are not very clear. That's why I shared the PDF of that presentation. So if you hear that class and you see the PDF, then most of your questions should be answered through that class.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
So please watch it, and you see at the end of the class, there is a lot of things that we can do in Purushottam month. It's a very, very powerful month. Please don't let it go.
Mhm.
And out of all the things that you can do, you see what you can do, and stay. The point is, you have to have the what is that? 1 point focus on Krishna. Keep him in the center of this month and maximize your devotional practices as much as you can. And this month at least, follow the 4 regulative principles and chant the holy name. We should always do that, but let's maximize it and do it more seriously in this month of Purushottam. So please watch that recording. Very, very important class. Many important points are there. You still have time. Purushottam, today is the first day. Even if you're in India, the day has not yet ended. There are still things that can be done. So please take advantage. Yeah, Shivani?
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you for a wonderful class. As today is the first day of Purushottam Mass, can you please bless all of you, and especially you, Mataji, Shri Hari Radha Mataji, as it's her material birthday on this very auspicious month.
Oh, today is your birthday, Shri Hari
Yes.
Radha. Shri Radhe Hari. Very nice. Today is also the birthday of Macarena. Are you there, Macarena?
Sorry.
Has she left? Okay. Anyway, so today is the birthday of Macarena and Shri Radhe Hari. So wish you both a very, very happy birthday. Very, very auspicious that your birthday has fallen on the first day of the month of Purushottam. And we all pray that you can maximize your devotional service this month, be completely purified, go back home, back to Godhead, and never take birth again. This is
Thank
my
Hari
desire.
you.
Bol, Hari Bol. Thank you
Hari
so much, Mataji.
Bol. Happy
Hari Bol.
birthday.
A very happy Krishna conscious birthday to you both, Matajis.
Thank you,
Hare
Hare
Krishna. Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna. Okay, are we ready for the exam?
Yes.
Thank you.
Mataji, I had 2 questions. Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Just a thought came that in which category do we put Dhruv Maharaj when we were discussing about lust, anger, and fear of pure love? Should we put him in anger or in pure love?
You cannot put him in anger because he didn't worship Krishna out of anger. The anger he had was for his, because he was removed from the lap of his father. So his anger was not towards Krishna. And it was not pure love either when he started off because he had a material desire. Now, Dhruv Maharaj had the material desire that he wants a planet greater than that of even Lord Brahma. So when he started off his devotion, he had a material desire. But of course, again, Krishna purified his heart and then only gave him the material desire. And that time he said that no, what I was wanting before is just broken piece of glass. So Krishna gave him his material desire, but he purified him before he gave it to him. So when he started off, he's not pure because he had a material desire, and neither was he serving in anger because the anger was not towards Krishna that he had. Hmm.
Okay, Mataji, thank you. And then there is another question that how did Kupcha develop the lusty desire? What is the simply by seeing Krishna she got lusty desires, or is there some other specific reason?
See, Srila Prabhupada describes Kubja as a society girl. No, so a society girl in the sense that uh, you can call them because she was serving the king. Normally, these society girls they engage in prostitution. But in the case of Kubja, she was not practicing prostitution because she was protected because of her hunchback. Remember that she was a hunchback girl, so therefore she was protected. But she had the lusty desires, right? Her house was decorated with these photos of, like that. And Krishna is most attractive. Krishna is most attractive. So she has a desire to enjoy with Krishna, but for her own sense gratification. That is Kubja's position.
Yes, yes. But from where did she get that? When we see the 10th object, then we get that kind of desire. So how did Kṛṣṇa get that desire? From where? What is the source of her getting the lusty desire?
The source
Was
is
it
her own impure heart. The source is her own impure heart. She is not seeing Krishna as the all-attractive Supreme Personality of Godhead. She's not seeing Krishna like that. She's seeing Krishna as this very attractive boy who has just come to Mathura. That's her vision at that particular point of time. So because of her physical attraction to Krishna, she gave him the sandalwood pulp.
because she got the lusty desire at that point?
Yeah, because that's when she saw Krishna. No? That's when she saw Krishna. That was a time. She has not seen Krishna before that. So when she saw Krishna, she was attracted, physically attracted towards him. And then she also straightened her. So she was more attracted.
Yeah. Thank you. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Okay. So here's the link to the exam. Your time starts now.